We have as our guest today Abby Johnson. Abby began working with Planned Parenthood in 2001, went on to become Director of Community Services and a health educator, served as a liaison between the community and Planned Parenthood as a media correspondent, was promoted to a health center director, ran family planning and abortion programs. But in 2009, she had an epiphany, left Planned Parenthood, joined the pro-life movement. And today she travels across the globe sharing her story, educating people on pro-life issues, advocating for the unborn. She's the founder of And Then There Were None, a ministry that assists abortion clinic workers in leaving the industry. She lives in Texas with her husband and 4 children. Abby Johnson, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Take 7 to 10 minutes and share what's on your heart, and then we'll open it up for questions and comments.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me on, and hello to everyone. Just honored to be here to share my story. Like the bishop said, I worked at Planned Parenthood for 8 years. I ran an abortion center in Texas, which I am proud to report that is now closed as of August 1st of last year. And I basically got involved with Planned Parenthood because of my ignorance, because I didn't know what Planned Parenthood was really about. And what they have done is they have sold this lie, this brand to the American public that they are a charitable organization, that they are here to help women in crisis. And I really believe that that's what we were there to do for those 8 years. It wasn't until the last few months, actually, of my time with Planned Parenthood where I saw some things that were bothersome to me. I remember sitting in a meeting with my supervisor, and we were going over our budget for the next fiscal year, and I was told that we were going to be doubling the quota for the amount of abortions that we had to provide in our abortion center. And that didn't make sense to me because as a person that had worked in media for Planned Parenthood, I had said that our goal at Planned Parenthood was to reduce the number of abortions. And so the fact now that we had this large quota placed upon us of how many abortions we had to sell to the women coming in was certainly something that went against what I was taught and what I believed Planned Parenthood was about. And ultimately, about a month later, I was asked to assist in an ultrasound-guided abortion procedure. Ultrasounds are not typically used. It's not part of Planned Parenthood's protocol to use an ultrasound during the actual abortion procedure, but we had a visiting physician come in, and he wanted to teach me about this different way of performing an abortion. And so my job during the abortion procedure was to hold the ultrasound probe on the woman's abdomen during the abortion. And I watched really just in shock as a 13-week-old child fought and struggled for his life during that abortion procedure, ultimately to lose that fight, that struggle. And this was shocking to me for a number of reasons. One, because I had been told by Planned Parenthood, and I had told thousands of women that the fetus had no sensory development or did not feel anything until at least 28 weeks. I knew that had, of course, been a lie, but more than that, I knew that not only had I lied to women, unintentionally, unknowingly, but that I had been lied to. And that made me start to really think, what else have I been lied to about? And so that caused me to leave the organization. And there was currently a 40 Days for Life prayer vigil going on outside of my clinic. And I went to them. I didn't know who to go to. I mean, all of my friends were certainly pro-choice. And so I went to the people that had said they were praying for me for all those 8 years, told them that I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to be a part of this organization or abortion anymore. And they just kind of hit the ground running. They started helping me, trying to find another job. And one day I went into work and I just, I looked out my window and we were doing the medication abortion, RU46 pill abortion. And I thought, you know what, I'm still here doing it. I've said that I don't want to be a part of it, but I'm still here waiting on the right job or, whatever to fall into my lap. And I knew I just couldn't do it anymore. So I resigned that day. And when Planned Parenthood found out that I had, in some ways become affiliated with the Coalition for Life, their adversary in the community, they filed a lawsuit against me because apparently Planned Parenthood thinks it's illegal to become pro-life. And we went to court, and the court case was completely dismissed. I think it was just a scare tactic to try to set an example for their other employees, just to say, look, if you defect from us, if you leave us and go to the pro-life movement, this can be used sitting in a courtroom. And the media then, at that time, became very interested in my story, and I started doing a lot of public speaking and speaking out against abortion and Planned Parenthood. And it was at that time that I decided that I knew I wanted to do something with abortion clinic workers, people like me who maybe felt trapped inside the industry but didn't know what that was going to look like. And in June of 2012, I founded And Then There Were None. And since founding that organization in June of 2012, we've had 101 abortion clinic workers come through our ministry, have conversions on the issue of life, and also have conversions to Christ. And so we're just really excited about that, and I'm just excited to see how God's going to continue to move in this movement.
Wow, Abby, that is stunning. You said 101 have come out of abortion clinics and joined the pro-life movement.
Yes.
That's tremendous. Look, your story is compelling. We know this is an ongoing problem in our country. Folks, if you want to ask Abby a question or make a comment, press *6 to get in queue, and I'm sure she'd be happy to respond to any question you have. Abby, let me ask the first question. We know that many churches support the pro-life movement, but we also know that many of them are completely on the sideline. What kind of support have you gotten from churches? Are they interested? Are they supportive? Or has your story had an impact on maybe some who have been on the sidelines and not taking any sort of stand?
I am occasionally asked to go and speak at churches, not as often as I would like, certainly. But, it's been amazing when I do go into church communities. It's almost like the people in the congregation were just waiting for an invitation to get involved in this movement. They were waiting for an invitation to share their story, maybe. Every time I've spoken at a church, I've had multiple women who have come up to me after the service and have said, I had an abortion 30 years ago, and I've never told anyone. Or I had a woman that came up to me and she said, I had an illegal abortion 45 years ago, and I've never told anybody that in my life. And she said, I realized after, hearing you talk that I'm in need of healing. And so I wish that the American Christian Church was, more vocal about abortion. Unfortunately, they're not. And we have the actual pastors that will get up and talk about abortion for what it is, talk about the sin of abortion, but also then offer healing and redemption to their congregation. It's rare to see that. And, one of my goals is to get out there and to really get the church energized.
Wow. That was going to be my next question. You say it's rare. Do we know? And folks, here again, if you have a question or comment for Abby, press *6, and to get in queue. And we're going to have another discussion about some of the things that have happened in the last week when we're done with Abby. So here again, if you have anything on your mind that you want to discuss, press *6 and get in queue. And we'll get into the second half of the call as soon as we're finished with Abby. But do you know? We're finding out that only half of Christians actually vote. That is, half are registered, and only half of those who are registered vote, just like the rest of the culture, pretty much. Which means that there's a vast number of people out there who probably are pro-life, probably share our values, but they're not expressing those concerns at the ballot box at all. Do you have any data in terms or any even anecdotal observation in terms of how many pastors would you say out of every 100 that might be out there would actually stand up in the pulpit, would actually, as our church does, and I know other churches do, we actually recognize Sanctity of Life Sunday. We often bring in someone from the Crisis Pregnancy Center to talk to us about the importance of the life issue and so forth. How many of those out there, are there of those out there?
Maybe 5 out of 100 will talk about abortion from the pulpit, and usually if they do, it's just a once a year type of thing on the sanctity of human life. They're not bringing it up to their congregation. And something that we need to realize as Christians is that according to the latest poll that was put out, almost 70% of women who have abortions are coming from our churches. And so I think, we kind of like to think, we're in this Christian bubble.
Wait. Hold. Did you say 70% of the women having abortions are church-going women?
Yes.
Wow. That's stunning.
But that makes sense, right? If we're not, our congregations are desperate for our pastors to lead on these types of moral issues. But many times they're not. And so, women, we used to have women. I remember one time, just a quick story, we had a woman that called, a young woman, she's in college. She called us and wanted to know if we had a back entrance to our clinic. And I said, well, no, we don't, but what's going on? And she said, well, I know some of the people that are out there praying in front of the clinic. They go to my church. And I said, oh, okay, well, just park close to the building and get in as quickly as possible, whatever. So we found out that her father was actually a Baptist minister of a large church in our community. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder what he would think if, to know if, that she was here going to have an abortion. And when it came time to take payment to get a credit card number, we called her dad for the credit card number. So not only was he aware of the fact that she was having an abortion, but he was paying for the abortion. He was completely complicit in her act of abortion. And I think that there's just a lot of people who feel very shamed in our church congregation, and because we're not talking about it, because we're not promoting our crisis pregnancy centers, which is so easy to do, it's so non-controversial. We're not promoting healing ministries for women and men that have experienced an abortion. Then women don't know where else to go to, and so they turn to the abortion industry, and you better believe that their arms are wide open, ready to receive them.
Wow. Well, listen, Abby, thank you so much. We're going to let you go. Before you go, though, I understand you have a book that is out, and if people want to contact you, how do they do that?
Yep. My personal website is abbyjohnson.org. The ministry website for And Then There Were None is abortionworker.com. And if you are a person that goes and prays outside of your local abortion clinic, which I encourage you to do if you've never done it before, we actually have a resources tab on the abortionworker.com site where you can print out flyers just in case you ever have the opportunity to talk to an abortion clinic worker. So we try to have as many resources there as possible.
Okay. Well, listen, Abby, please keep up the good work. Let's stay in touch. One of the things that I walk away from this discussion with is that we desperately need an awakening in our churches. I often say we need an awakening in our country, but it sounds to me like we need an awakening in our churches who are either just blind to these issues or, frankly, just on the wrong side of them.
Right,
so
absolutely.
I think your work is a big help, and thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much.